Welcome back to Checkmate with Blake, and in this video I'm going to teach you guys how to master positional chess. The truth is, with modern chess, everyone wants to play these brilliant moves and these tactical dynamic lines, but as you guys know from your own games, not every position is going to have these brilliant moves available to you. Sometimes you have to display your understanding of positional chess to win more games and improve your elo. Also, there are many grandmasters who have mastered this concept and displayed such an understanding of this concept to win more games and to stay at the top of chess. Some of these players who come to mind are Karpov, Capablanca, Petrosian, but even modern chess players like Magnus Carlsen are able to be at the top of the chess field because they have such a strong and deep understanding of positional chess. So in this video, I aim to give you guys 3 different lessons about positional chess to improve your game and hopefully help you guys win more games. If you do find this video to be helpful, please leave a like and let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see in future videos, because as you all know, my channel is all about bringing you guys the content you want to see. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you'd like to join the community that we have here today, I would love to have you guys. And also feel free to check out some of the channel memberships that we have live too if you want to support the channel or find new ways to gain access to some additional features on this channel. We'll go ahead and get started. In this first lesson that we have here, I want to teach you guys about identifying key pieces. And the reason I say that is because what I think positional chess comes down to is understanding the position. Now, you may hear that and say, obviously, positional chess comes down to understanding the position. But what does it mean to understand a chess position? In my opinion, to understand a chess position, you have to identify what the best pieces are and the worst pieces are in the position. You also have to identify what are some positional strengths. Now, if that sounds like a lot, I'll go ahead and say throughout this video, I'm going to cover many different concepts such as controlling weak squares, controlling open files, and some advanced concepts as well. So stick to the end and you'll see some of those concepts in action. But in this first one, I'm going to talk about identifying key pieces, because when you want to formulate an attack, you have key pieces that are going to enable this attack to occur. Likewise, when you want to defend an attack, you have key pieces that will kind of keep your position together. So in this first example, I want to give you guys a little bit of a test. I want you all to find what is the best piece that white has on the board. Or in other words, what is the key piece that white has on the board? Now, many players will say, okay, obviously it's the queen. The queen is the strongest piece on the board, but that's where the fallacy begins, because the queen is not the most key piece in their position right now. The key piece that white actually has is this bishop that's on d3. And you may ask, why is the bishop on d3 the key piece in their position? Well, it's the key piece because all of their attacks relate to attacking this h7 square. It relates to attacking on the king side. If they did not have this bishop here on d6, these attacks would be much, much weaker. So once we identify what the piece is that's going to enable their attacks, and of course this bishop is going to enable the queen to come in, it may enable these knights to jump in. The bishop enables their attack. So once we identify that their bishop is the key piece, we should try to eliminate it. Now, how can we do that? How can we remove white's key defender in this position? Many of you may say we should push this pawn to c4, but notice after we push the pawn to c4, they're just going to drop the bishop back to one of these 2 squares and keep the bishop alive, and they will do that because the bishop is so strong here. But we actually have a move that we can force to win this bishop. And the move that we're going to play is actually knight f4. And the reason we play knight f4 is because we're double attacking the queen and the bishop. So once the queen moves, we take their bishop. And after the queen captures back, notice they no longer have their strongest key piece. Also, our bishop becomes a little more active. But again, the real idea behind this is we want to remove their key piece to improve our position by weakening theirs. Now, the second one I want to talk about, controlling weak squares. Now, if I ask you what is the most important piece in their position in this one, you may struggle to find it. The key piece that they have in this example is actually the bishop on d6. And you may say, why is the bishop strong in this position? Because of course the bishop is not threatening to take our pieces here, right? Because these pawns are protecting the g3 pawn. So obviously their bishop is not going to be the main attacker that they have. So why is their bishop the piece that we want to remove? Well, what do we notice about their position? All of their pawns that are developed are on light squares, which means that these dark squares right here are all incredibly weak. So how can we control the dark squares? Well, we can do that by actually removing their defender of the dark squares, which is this bishop. Now, how can we do that? How can we achieve this goal? What piece do we have that we need to develop, that we need to improve our position? Now, you may say we could just move these rooks over to one of these squares and improve our position that way. But we have a more direct way to actually improve our position. We can actually play this move bishop a3. Now notice they cannot just simply move their bishop to protect their bishop because we would take the rook. So instead they're going to try to play this move queen e7 to defend their bishop and, hopefully maintain control of the dark squares. Of course this will not work because now what we've done is our bishop was looking at this pawn, and now our bishop is attacking this bishop, which is again a key piece in their position. So now we take their bishop, and after they take back, we can now play our knight on knight e5, which is such a strong square, and they have no real way to capture it really because they don't have control of the dark squares anymore. So we've removed their dark square protector, which crumbles their position. Now, this last one is actually my favorite one, and it's my favorite for multiple reasons. It's also the most advanced one, so I want you guys to really test your knowledge here. So try to find each move before I play it. But what we notice in this position, and this one is about controlling open files, because everyone knows that you want to have control of the open files. You want to have a rook maybe on e1 to control the open file, but this one really shows why controlling the open file is so strong. Because the move that we're going to play here, before I go into it actually, let's also point out that this bishop is also very strong looking at the king side, so maybe we can have a king side attack. And we also notice that their pieces are not all that developed. So how can we take advantage of this to improve our position positionally, which is the key of the point of the video? So the move we can play here is actually queen e4, threatening a checkmate. Now, obviously, they have to respond to this checkmate, because we're threatening a checkmate already. So they play this move here, and now that we've brought our queen up to e4, we have created a second hidden threat. Now that we've removed our queen off the e1 square, we've vacated our queen off the e1 square, we can now play rook e1, another tactic, where now we're threatening to take the knight because it's only protected by the queen. And after the knight move, this is the spot where I want you to test your knowledge, try and pause the video and find what is the key move here to dominate. This next move will actually crumble their position. The move that you should play is actually bishop d6. Now you may wonder, first of all, let's slow down. Why did they play this move here? Well, they're playing this move here because they're trying to stop us from playing this check. They don't want us to infiltrate on their side of the board. So they bring the knight here. So how can we stop this attack? How can we weaken their position so that we maybe can play this check? Now we play the move bishop d6. But bishop d6 is such an amazing move positionally for reasons that are harder to explain. And let me try to cover these. Now, again, the reason behind bishop d6, I'm going to go pull up to an analysis to kind of show you this. If they ever, we'll go down this line here, if they ever move the knight away, we actually have a checkmate. Because now when we give this check and force this trade, their only move is here, in which we will play this check, and wherever they go to, we will have a checkmate on the board. So they cannot simply move the knight away. So you may say, okay, what are some other moves they can play? To someone who's maybe more advanced, they may spot the move going knight e6. Knight e6 is another key idea in this position. I'm not going to go through this very in depth. I want to point out we are winning. The engine says we're up 1.15, even though it looks like we should not be up that much. And why are we up that much? A key reason why we are up and why bishop d6 is so strong, and here's what I'm trying to cover, is because the bishop prevents them from developing. The bishop prevents the rook from ever coming here, and also they cannot push the d-pawn. So now we can just continue developing our pieces, continue formulating our attack, while they are going to struggle with their own development. So those are just 3 different key lessons that I can talk about with positional chess. Obviously, there's many more positional concepts I could cover. If you want to see another video on positional chess, please let me know in the comments. Again, leave a like if you found this video helpful. The 3 key lessons that I talked about today was identifying key pieces, controlling weak squares, and controlling open files. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you'd like to subscribe and join the community that we have here today, I'd love to have you guys. Thank you so much for watching.